Well, how are you feeling? You got John Riggs here, and I thank you for hanging out in my kitchen once again. Gonna talk about the 3 rarest games I have. Now, I recently did a video with Metal Jesus where I showcased the 3 rarest games I had in my collection. 2 copies of Starkeeper. One of them's hard enough to find, the fact that I have 2 of them, so that counts as 2 to me. And then the dumped ROM prototype limited edition Spot Goes to Hollywood for the 32X. That wasn't good enough. There's a lot of people in the comment section of the Metal Jesus video saying, like those shouldn't count because they're homebrews or hacks or prototypes, and like those aside, games you can find at the store that anybody could have found when they were released. And I get that too. Like I know what you're talking about, and I get it. So on this channel, I want to share with you my 3 rarest games that are not hacks, that are not prototypes, that are not repros. I mean, I make my own game hacks. I have a lot of games that are edition 1 of 1. I'm not making any more of them. You know, games like I put my kids into and stuff like that. But all of those aside, these are games that anybody could have bought when they came out. And this is to the best of my knowledge about their rarity. Again, I'm not going for value, so you're not going to see, I mean, like I have Earthbound, I have Mega Man X3, I have, you know, some of the Nintendo games that are on the higher tier. So this is the best of my knowledge of games that are harder to find, but I had a hard time finding these, so I'm going to share with you these. Not added to the list, but this is my honorable mention. I do have a copy of Bucky O'Hare for the Nintendo Entertainment System. What makes this rare, I left the sticker on there because it's right on the label. It's only when I see games in a Game Finder that's like, oh, there's a little thing right there. I'll take care of that later. But this was back when I bought the game for $5 at Software Etc. or EB Games or GameStop. It was one of those stores. And they put the sticker right on the label. Oh. So, but I left it on there for that reason. And now that I look at it, it's like, oh, it's kind of cool because this proved to me once upon a time, back when games were based on availability rather than worth. You know, bought this game for $5. And I'm glad I have it. It's one of my favorites too. So, without any further ado, here are the top 3, to the best of my knowledge, harder to find games in my collection. And I may have more rare. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. This one for the Wii is the Data East Arcade Classics. This is a compilation of a bunch of Data East games. It was only made available for the Wii for some reason. Had a retail value of $20 when it first came out. I wanted one so bad when I first heard about it. I was following them on Facebook and I couldn't find one. I couldn't find them in stores. I couldn't find them online. And then once upon a time, I happened to be swinging on by our local Walmart, and they had like 10 of these. $19.99. I bought 1. Of course I should have bought them all, but at the time I was like, oh, there it is, finally. And I picked it up and I bought 1. It's cool too. This game has a bunch of great games on here. This is all the arcade versions of the game, so it has Bad Dudes, it has Joe and Mac, it has all the arcade names. So there's Caveman Ninja, which is that one, I can't think of the name right now. Wizard Fire is my favorite game on here probably. There's Crude Buster, which you might know as 2 Crude Dudes for Genesis. Bird and Rubber, which is Bump and Jump. Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory, which is kind of like a pseudo sequel to Burger Time. Heavy Barrel. I mean, it has a bunch of games on here, so happy to have this one. $20, man. I don't know. I wish. Yeah. I mean, if we could all go back in time, you know, you know how that works. Up next is Africa, PlayStation 3. For some reason, it was hard to find. Now, the first time I ever found it, it was another one of those games I heard about, and I was like, it's kind of like, imagine Pokemon Snap, but real life, like, you know, with realistic graphics for its time. I wanted one so bad and I couldn't find one, and I happened to find one in the used section at GameStop a while back. And when I was gunning for a complete NES set, somebody was looking for this game, so I traded him my copy of this for a bunch of Nintendo games, and I was happy with that trade. But then later on, I was like, man, I want to play that again, and that's when I looked it up on eBay, and I was like, oh, it's no longer a $20, $30 game. I don't want to pay that much for it. Fortunately, one of my buddies at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo traded me a copy of this for one of my games that he was looking for too. So happy to have this back in my collection. But Africa for PS3, it's fun. If you like Pokemon Snap, it's just one of those like, hey, go to the Serengeti and take a picture of a meerkat on a hill, and you get graded on that too. And then this one, I think is going to be okay for this video. I think is going to be okay for this video. It's not a hack, it's not a repro, it's a legit game, but I'm calling it rare because it's Toxic Crusaders, signed by Lloyd Kaufman. I know the ink is kind of rubbing off there, but this is Toxic Crusaders signed by Lloyd Kaufman, Mr. Trauma. I'm going to add this to the list too, because again, I don't collect games based on value or based on rarity or hard to find. Naturally, if I see a game that fits that description, I'll pick it up if it's a good price, and maybe I can trade it off to someone else who's looking for their collection. But I really don't, so I don't look up prices like everyone else does, like on the price chart or eBay and stuff like that. I might if I see a game at a store, or like at a convention. Well, convention prices are usually good to go, but like yard sales and pawn shops and stuff like that too. So like, oh, how much is that worth? And I might pick it up for someone else. But yeah, so these are my 3 rarest. Hopefully that appeases, if it pleases the crown. No hacks or repros or anything like that. So thanks for watching. I just wanted to share this video with you really quickly. Until next time, take care. More videos on the way, more tutorials, more open cart surgery videos, so make sure you're subscribed. Click the bell icon if we do live streaming. You can always join in there. Always like to chat with you while we're streaming live, whether it be a PlayStation 4 game or if I'm doing something here, at the old table Del Rigg'd. Yeah, and till next time, bless you and everyone you hug. Thanks for watching. We'll see ya.